the Prime Minister's unique style, apart from the ground connect, apart from the apart from everything else that he does when he is on these visits, is also the idea of Viksit Bharat, a progressive modern India, and the intersection between civilization and a modern rising India is something and a vibe that the Prime Minister occupies very, very prominently. And that's the reason why, Gaurav, and I wanted to bring you in on this because I know this is something that interests you, the intersection, the overlap between the civilizational that is there for everyone to see and the modern, an ancient temple and a modern airport, ancient faith, ancient epics, the stories of Ram, and at the same time modern infrastructure in a modern city that is literally ready for the entire world. That is very, very important to recognize, Gaurav.
Shiv, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was elected the first time, one of the countries he visited and paid a lot of attention to detail was Japan, and he visited Kyoto. Kyoto is an ancient city with the most modern amenities, and he studied Kyoto very closely. He took officials with him to study Kyoto so that they could replicate Kyoto in Kashi. And not just in Kashi, there were lessons to be learned which they can be replicated in Ayodhya. And the aim is to once again reclaim civilizational centers and make them the most modern centers of learning, of education, of healthcare. Shiv, today we are all talking a lot about airports and railway and power projects and roads. What is also equally high on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's agenda is education and technical education. So there is a Maharshi Rajarshi Dashrath Polytechnic on nursing care and paramedical care. That is also being inaugurated today. A lot of these projects are to do with the civilizational learning that comes from Ayodhya. And Shiv, his hope or aspiration is that Hindus from across the world will congregate here, know more about our civilization, know more about our religion and culture, and take it across back to their countries, take it back across 7 seas and pass it on to future generations. A tree with a firm root is always a very tall and a strong tree, is something that he said in the past. He talks about future generations being connected to the roots. That is when your faith will never be shaken by those who may try. And a lot of effort was made. You and I have actually lived through that, when a lot of effort was made by certain quarters to make Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram look small or not important, or not give Ayodhya the importance the Ayodhya deserved. But an effort was made constantly. Not a government approach, but a legal approach for a solution to Ayodhya so that it would be lasting. And then the government approach to ensure infrastructure is developed. But devotees' approach and a independent trust were funded by people for a Divya Bhavya Ram temple to come up, so that blame does not come that government made the temple. It's a trust that's making a temple with your money and mine. The common people of this country are paying for that temple to be built, Shiv.
Very, very important point to note that you've just mentioned, Gaurav. And I also want to tell our viewers that these are live pictures coming in. The Prime Minister has reached the Valmiki Airport in Ayodhya, where he will be inaugurating airport operations. The first flight will be taking off shortly after that inauguration. India Today's Poulomi Saha will be on that flight a little later. Here's Prime Minister Modi, accompanied, of course, by Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, not visible in these pictures, but he must be inside, is also going to be there, of course, for this inauguration. Poulomi Saha, who's going to be one of the lucky few on that flight out of the Ayodhya Dham airport shortly, is also with us. Poulomi, the airport fully ready for operations. The Prime Minister is about to inaugurate it. He's outside the airport right now, having a quick chat with Chief Minister Yogi before he enters. Take us through what we're going to see now, Poulomi, and about the airport.
Well, that's right. In a short while from now, the Prime Minister will be inaugurating the airport itself, the Maharshi Valmiki International Airport, Ayodhya Dham. And as you can see, the crowds over here at the public meeting. As far as the airport is concerned, the airport is ready for operations as well. Today, of course, only will be landing here in a short while from now. IndiGo will land. Air India Express will be landing here with its purchase, which is a Boeing 737 MAX. That will be landing over here already. We are getting word from Delhi Airport. The check-in counter of IndiGo for the Ayodhya. And the first passengers, of course, after receiving their as well. The new terminal building, Shiv, Pavan will stay on that right now. Basic over 6,500 square meters. It has of artwork and paintings which basically depict. You get a sense of why Ayodhya is famous. Is the Ramayana, the tale of Lord Ram on this airport. You get a sense of that. They have built capacity of about 10 lakh passengers annually, but there are as well that they've slotted for this airport. For phase one of the airport has taken about 1,400 for project money, but there is a phase two, like I said, expanded as well. The runway will be 150 meters. It will then have a new terminal built 50,000 square meters. So that will have a passenger handling capacity of about 60 lakh and 60 lakh annually. So that is, of course, a concern. Like I said, IndiGo and Air India Express will be landing. So the Prime Minister has inaugurated that airport. There are bookings that have been opened because the flight for these airlines are concerned. They're starting commercial operations. 10th of January to be specific, IndiGo starts subsequent to this as well. So if you want to fly in from Delhi, Kolkata, Bengaluru, Mumbai, direct flights have been announced. So you can go on to the airline portals and book your flights for Ayodhya in time for the consecration ceremony on the 22nd of June. You can land here via flight.
Very, very interesting. So available from all of those cities. More flights will be added. 2 flights are going to be landing very, very shortly after the inauguration. Seeing on your screen from just a few minutes earlier when the Prime Minister, he's just gone inside now, and we'll be getting you live pictures in just a couple of minutes from now. Sent us, you can see all of that on your screen. Those are the flying directly into Ayodhya. So the Ayodhya airport is ready in all respects. That there will probably be some international flights at some point, charter flights, carrying devotees will be theoretically able to land directly in Ayodhya, the Ram Mandir. All of that will unfold through. January 22nd is the consecration, the pran. After that, the doors of the Mandir will open to the public. Access, what you need to do, how to get to Ayodhya, you can see all of it right. So the Prime Minister was at Lata Mangeshkar Chowk, a short 40-foot veena that is a tribute to Florence Nightingale, as Lata Mangeshkar was called. It's someone who had a very close friendship with throughout her life. Now at the Maharishi Valmiki Airport. He's accompanied by Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and others. Security detail is, of course, there. There will be happening inside the airport before the Prime Minister. That Prime Minister is already inside the airport right now, and he is inaugurating the airport. The airport becomes official. the Prime Minister waving at the crowds, never to connect with the crowds, because he acknowledges that CM, all of those people you see around Polomi are also people who've come there in the hope that they get a glimpse of the Prime Minister, and that's the reason why he never loses an opportunity to acknowledge the crowds, wave at them, because he knows it means a lot. That wave, that eye connect, eye contact, acknowledging people who've come from a long way off perhaps to actually see a Prime Minister is not something small. It's not something to be toyed with. It stays with people. It means something symbolic to people. They remember it all their lives. Many people are beneficiaries. That's the reason why the Prime Minister visited Labharti Ben, the 10 croreth beneficiary of the Ujjwala scheme, which was deemed to be very, very successful, one of the Prime Minister's most successful schemes, something that he's called a pet scheme, really. And all of it coming just weeks before a big national election where the Prime Minister stands to create history by becoming, perhaps, if it all works out for the BJP, only the second Prime Minister in India's independent history to win a third term. So the election flavor that's in the air cannot be ignored, but the spirituality, the symbolism, the adulation and the astha, as we're calling it, cannot be ignored either. You can't really mix the two up. Both of them exist in their own universes, and both of them are equally important. The reason why the Prime Minister is inaugurating both a railway station and an airport today is to signal that the city is ready. The city is ready with open arms to welcome people from across the country and across the world, and to symbolize that Ayodhya is ready to take care of them, to be modern for them, is an ancient city, but with these modern amenities that the Prime Minister is inaugurating, so that people's experience in coming to the city meets their requirements and meets their expectations. Remember, the world has changed, but this is civilization being reloaded, rebirthed, as it were, and given its rightful place in the hearts of millions across the country.